bodies so that we can regulate our nervous system and physically calm our bodies to regain control. So now that I just spat all of that at you, I'm going to invite you to try a breathing exercise with everybody who is on this call, which is a lot of people. So shout out to y'all for taking the time out to be here with us today, because that is so important to have that collectivism, to have that community support. All right, so I'll invite you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. This activity is called square breathing. And so it's really just meant to ground you back in the present. And so I can hear people breathing. That is great, but I'm gonna have to mute myself, please. Okay, so we're just gonna do squares or fours, right? So we're gonna breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and we're gonna do it 4 times. Very simple. All right, and breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4. Again, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4. All right, y'all, how'd that go? How do you feel?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Great. Relax. Your mind is actually open.
My hands feel very stretched.
Stretch?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think
Beautiful.
I've seen some of the wrinkles disappear from some people's head, y'all. Y'all look good. Y'all look good now. Yeah.
Right? This is magic. Again, we have our own magic.
Yeah.
All right. So again, I'll take any questions. If there are questions, I think we might want to hold off to the end just to keep in mind time. I think I generally tend to run under time, so that's fine. And again, I just wanted to remind everybody that your worth is inherent. It is fine to not be okay. And if people don't know how to hold that, that is their problem, not yours. So
All right, if you want to, I can give her a round of applause or hand clap, snaps, all that good stuff. I muted everybody.
Yeah. Oh, way to go.
Thank you.
Very insightful. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you so very much.
All right, coming up next to the virtual stage. Give it up to Jay Mitch with a poem. Damn.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
What up? What's up? What's up?
What's good? All right. So before I get started, I think I'm on the same page with everybody today. I just want to give you a little bit of background of what lyrically healing is. So most people know me as the CEO of Real Talk Inc., where we teach life principles through 4 areas of impact: arts, education, self-development, social emotional development, and community service. So in that area of art, I started something called Lyrically Healing, which is to create a safe space for individuals to begin their process of making or becoming sound or healthy again, in a manner which expresses emotions in an imaginative and holistic way. All right, here we go. So this is called community. It's a collaborative, conscious, collective connection. We study the oncology of the oppressed, offering opportunity in the marginalized metrics. We are a movement. We've only maintained to this magnitude. We need to assemble meetings to motivate unity and understanding around the unfavorable, unchanged, underprivileged Negro, Latino, Neglected neighborhoods, non-existent normalities. We need normalcy, nourishing, neighboring actions. Impeccable actions, impeccable ideology, ideal logic. Logistics to triumphant, terrible, transgenerational territories. Timely, tenacious tactics. You, yes, you, and I, and what we can do. Community, 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 community yesterday, community today, community we can no longer delay. We can't lay dormant thinking about the lack of pay. To my community, what do you have to say? Thank you.
Hey.
Yeah.
That.
We hear you, Ashley.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just share real quick?
Ashley.
So honestly,
That's
I
what
didn't know.
Oh no, it's not.
I didn't know which way I wanted to. Davon gave me so many different things I could have spoke on today. You know, I'm a therapist myself, so he gave me mental health. He gave me community. And I wanted to bring something that if I had the opportunity to be with my youth right now, what would we have collectively created together? And whenever we come together, we always, you know, we go to the board, we go wherever we can to just write up our words. You know, what is the first thing that comes to mind when we think of that word community? And so I went through each letter and I wrote every single word that I could think of, and that's how we came up with that. And I felt it was inclusive to everybody that's on the panel today, everybody that's watching on live. So I thank you and I appreciate you for this opportunity.
Everybody can give Ashley some snaps. Give her some snaps.
Thank you.
Hey, Mitch, sorry. Hey, Mitch.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go to the next person, to the next presenter, in a few minutes after a presenter and a poem, we're going to be going through our comic book. And if you would like to read out loud with us, if you can just type it in the chat so I can keep your names and then we can call on you. If not, then we have 3 speakers who are going to read the whole comic book. But during the next presentation, throw your answers in there so we don't take up too much time. So, you know, just put I want to read, and then I'll write your name down, and then we'll call you out as we go through the comic. So I think that's going to be dope. But up next is your dietitian BFF, aka Clara, coming with a brief history on the diet culture and why it's crap. You know, so if we can give some snaps, a round of applause to Clara, and she's about to present right now.
Let me share my
All right.
screen. If you can see this. This will present. So I'm going to, why did it start all the way at the beginning? What the heck? Okay, so I am doing a presentation on a brief history on why diet culture is crap. And I want to offer to you all a better, more sustainable alternative to living your healthiest life through gentle nutrition and exercise, basically, which can be an extension of it. A brief introduction to who I am. My name is Clara. I am a registered dietitian nutritionist. I got my master's degree from Duval College right here in Buffalo. I specialize in a weight-inclusive, non-diet approach to health and nutrition, and my mission is to empower my clients through food freedom. Okay, so let's get started. So what is diet culture? Have you heard of it? Is it something you hear often, not very often? And if Devon, you can read those answers, if anyone answers to me. Okay, so diet culture. Diet culture, this is one of my favorite definitions. It's by another dietitian. Her name is Christy Harrison. She defines diet culture as a system of beliefs that worships thinness and equates it to health and often moral value. It promotes weight loss as a means of attaining higher status. So this could be social status, like health status, all these things. But what it also does is it oppresses people who don't match up with this supposed picture of health. And this, conversely, disproportionately harms women, femmes, trans folks, larger bodied people, people of color, people with disabilities, and it's damaging to their mental and physical health. And so I can speak forever about how diet culture is rooted in white supremacy, but I only have 15 minutes. So I'm just going to leave that there and do a brief history. And I will start here in America. So diet culture can be traced back to when the European settlers landed in America in the 18th century. So with that, they brought their heavy Protestant influence, and that brought things like a belief that maintaining a healthy body and soul was the only way to honor and worship their God. Cut to 200 years later, Reverend Sylvester Graham linked during a sermon morality and diet. He was also the inventor of the graham cracker, and he developed the graham cracker as a diet food. So this was a way for people to curb their appetites, which meant they would curb their bodily urges, whether it be hunger or sexual or whatever human urge that they felt. This was a way to ignore that. 100 years after that, Adolf Quetelet introduced the BMI equation, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And if you cut to today, we still believe that if you follow a specific set of food rules and exercise rules, then you will achieve a state of worthiness. So it's very similar to the idea from the 16th century, just in different words, right? So like if you eat clean or you have to be good, these are things rooted in that belief. So I talked about BMI. So does anyone who knows what BMI stands for? Do you want to?
Body mass index.
Body mass index.
Yes, yes. So body mass index, this is an equation used to calculate a measure of body fat based on their height and weight, and applies to both men and women. Okay, so this is what the CDC uses. This is what our entire healthcare system is essentially based on. But why, right? So like, I hate the BMI. It's stupid. Adolf Quetelet was the creator of the equation. So notice he is an astronomer, he is a mathematician, and he is a sociologist. You know what? He's not a doctor, okay? So what did he do? He also co-founded the School of Positive Criminology. Is anyone familiar with positive criminology? Positivist. Okay. No, so this is, I wasn't either until I looked it up. And it is an assertion that the dangerousness of a criminal to be, it asserted the dangerousness of a criminal to be the only measure of the extent to which they were punishable. And the positivist criminology ideologies laid the groundwork for criminologists like Cesar Lombroso, who believed that people of color were a separate species, and just like super racist, pseudoscience, and can be still seen in fields of like anthropometry and phrenology. And it's also noted that Adolf Quetelet only studied people from predominantly white nations. So like the United States, Finland, Italy, so European countries, and completely ignored people of color. So for the history of BMI, it's when it was first made was a way to measure quickly the degree of obesity in a general population to assist the government in allocating resources. So it gave a brief snapshot to see how much funding areas needed, how much support areas needed. So it was never meant to be used on an individual basis. And it is, right? So like why? Because, and why it's problematic is because it doesn't account for relative proportions of bone, muscle, and fat. Every body type is different, right? So this equation doesn't give allowance for relative proportions of bone, muscle, and fat in a body. It gives the proportions of one type of bone, muscle, fat proportions in one type of body. But some people have bone that's denser than muscle, like more bone density. There's people who have more muscle mass. And muscle is twice as dense as fat. So a person with strong bones and good muscle tone with low fat will have a higher BMI. So on paper, they will be diagnosed as oftentimes as overweight or obese. And those diagnoses carry stigmatizing things regarding your health, right? So like if you are obese, it affects your insurance coverage. It affects the way people treat you. It affects the social equity of everyone living their daily lives, because in this society, we do not value larger bodies, and they are marginalized for it. In 2011, a study conducted by the Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology found that BMI detected less than 50% of obesity cases in Black, white, and Hispanic women. So what does this mean? It means that the BMI number was less than 50% accurate every time it was diagnosed, every time someone was diagnosed as obese. So what does this mean? This means that today, medicine's over-reliance on BMI is actively harming the health of people, especially people of color. So what can you do, right? So what can you do long-term is to try to affect change in the system. So that means being public health workers. That means becoming doctors, changing the way things are doing. And what you can do right now is take care of yourself, right? So taking care of yourself is the greatest act of rebellion, because diet culture currently is focused on counting calories, restricting everything, obsessing about how we're working out, what we're eating, and aiming to achieve this perfect body, when that perfect body truly doesn't exist for one, like to encompass all humans. And so I'm a huge proponent for true health, and true health is focused on enjoying your food, your relationships in life. I believe health is all encompassing. So it's a physical health, your mental health, your emotional health. That is the true meaning of wellness, and doing things for your body instead of doing things to your body, right? So when we exercise, we're doing it because it's heart healthy. We're doing it because it helps with mental clarity, not because I'm punishing my body for looking a certain way, or not doing something, or not meeting the standard quo. So true health is attainable and sustainable, right? So like, how many diets have you ever tried? How many diets have you heard your friends trying? And they're like, oh, I did it for a week and then I failed. And that's because 96% of diets are destined for failure. And we have been programmed to believe that this is our fault instead of the product's fault, right? Like if you bought shoes and 96% of those shoes broke after using them for a few days, like you wouldn't blame your feet, you would blame the shoes. And so how do we translate that to our health as well? So like, what am I supposed to eat, right? So like, how can I eat to best support myself as a person? And just know that good nutrition is so much more than choosing the right foods. Food is so much more than just a calorie. It's culture, it's connection, it's comfort, and the choice is multifactorial. So it's what's available, it's what's in season, it's what you have access to. These are all things that come into play when you're choosing what to eat. And when we compound that with morality, it becomes problematic, because if we believe that if we eat good, we are good, then conversely, if you eat bad, then you are bad. But I know as a person that if I choose to eat something not as nutritionally dense as something else, it doesn't affect my worth as a person. And so that is how important it is to realize, like, when you are on a diet or when you're eating clean, that's where that line ends, because food is so much more than just a calorie. So this is my favorite picture of, like, when people are like, yeah, okay, that's all great, but what am I supposed to eat? This is the Canadian Food Guide. So I love it because it's very simple. And I hope that you take note of this picture in a way to see, I hate, like, you know, taking away food, like, oh, I abstain, I don't eat this, I don't eat that. I don't believe that there are any bad foods, but what can you add to what you're already doing? What can you add that's within your means to do to eat closer to this? And knowing that, like, we don't exist in a vacuum. So not every meal is going to be perfect. Not every meal is going to look like this, but knowing big picture that we're doing things, choosing to do things for ourselves that help support instead of punish. And yeah, okay, that's it. If you have any questions, you can feel free to DM me. I'm on IG at Your Dietitian BFF. Devon also has my email if you want to give him your question. But that's it. That was mine. Thank you, everybody.
That was
Everybody
great.
can give a round of applause or clap, however you want to show that love.
Yeah.
Love.
Thank you for that.
That was awesome.
Great job.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Salute.
Yeah, Clara, the one thing to add, I wanted to know, like, what's the first step in breaking that trend? Like, these negative trends that have been pretty much forced upon us and encapsulated by the population. Like, what's the first step in breaking those trends as a dietitian?
I am a huge proponent for ditching diets. So just know that dieting is a distraction. I have a favorite quote. Let me find it really fast, or I can just.
That one quote, I wrote that down as soon as I heard it.
Yeah, from yesterday. Yeah. So basically, it talks about how dieting is a distraction and it's a means of oppression, because if you are hyper-focused on what you're eating, you're not focusing on what else is going on around you. So as a form of rebellion, as a form of saying, you know, goodbye to diet culture, if you decide to eat foods, just realizing that you are eating is self-care. You need it's like Maslow's hierarchy, like food, shelter, and safety, or something like that. And like, everyone deserves to eat. And like, the addition of morality to food is distraction. It is a means, it's privileged. It doesn't account for a larger body of people. But if you come at it from a place of self-compassion, then knowing that what you're doing is your best, then that's honestly all that I can ask for my clients.
Yeah, Claire, as you were talking, I also was reminded of something that I remember I had posted on my Instagram as well. just saying that, like, when people say they want to lose weight, what they often mean is that I want to be respected, I want to be loved, I want to be seen, I want liberation from fear and self-loathing. Weight loss culture will never give us those things because it's founded on, as you said, fear and hate-based systems like sexism, racism, classism, and ableism.
Yes. There's a book called My Body Is Not an Apology. I love, oh my God. I tell everyone
Such
to read
a great book. Read it, y'all. Read it.
It's so good. It's so good. And she talks about, I don't know, like TLDR, people who aren't going to read it, basically the importance of representation, right? So she is a larger bodied Black woman. And she was like talking about how she has been healthy, you know, has healthy life habits for the majority of her life, but her body type doesn't, oh yeah, I can definitely do that. Her body type doesn't meet the standard BMI requirements for what's normal. So everything in her whole, like her blood work was normal, everything is normal except her weight. And then therefore she's automatically classified as a not healthy person. But she went to a doctor who was Black and they said to her, like, you're fine, like you're good, don't worry about it, because what you're doing is the best you can do given the circumstance. And I think that that is so important, because in this industry, in the healthcare profession, in dietetics, I like, for even myself, representation is very low. So it's like, it's so important to share it, scream it, tell everyone, tell your friends that like diet is crap.
That's right. So if your gym instructor tells you your body mass index is wrong, you slap that thing out their face and you tell them your system is based on oppression.
Yeah, you're like, sorry, don't subscribe to systems of oppression like that.
Right.
All of what you're saying makes me think of something in the book Ishmael. Anybody read it? No. In Ishmael, there's this gorilla, and he, he's his telekinesis. He's talking to this individual, and he's telling him about the time spent in the wild in his transition into captivity. And he's talking to this man about how when he was at the zoo, he was watching this tiger just walk back and forth, just back and forth. And he said he realized that the embodiment of this tiger was why, because nothing there made sense. And he said for himself, he learned that feeding only became feeding at the zoo. And I bring it to that point because it's like, I'm sure you can understand with that, that how we're eating and the way we do it, it's inside of a system that is unnatural to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, everybody, we're gonna move on to the next part of our show. Coming up next, Solomon Dixon, CEO of Lead Line Inc. If y'all can give him some snaps and some hand claps, he's gonna hit us with a song and a poem.
All right, Solomon.
You go, Hectic.
And then mute after you.
They had to
say
Skyline.
Yep.
Oh wow! Nobody else knows that, bro. All right, how you guys doing?
Doing great, doing great.
Devon, I love you, bro. I'm just so happy that you're out in the world. Waking up this morning, I've been dealing with a lot. My dad just died, my biological dad, and they're building a statue of him in Syracuse. It's really cool, but it's off the nature of community and well-being, and like how we see each other, where we see each other, and what we're doing when we're together. The song that I'm gonna share, it's when I was working over at BCAT, there was a particular student that I saw extremely talented, but it appeared to be that like the hood was gonna swallow this individual. And so I merged it with a song about just taking another way, not knowing what way that is, but taking that route either way. them burn like trees in the forest, surrounded by trees already burning. And even so, I noticed hurt amongst the broken. I'll take the midnight train. I'll give it all I can. I'll find another way. Find freedom, find promised land. I said, give me a piece of this promise, and you promised me I'll be better. I promise. I said it, I said it, I said it. I promised him. Well, I'll take the midnight train to Mars. The city lights are familiar. It's got me thinking maybe I'll take the midnight train to Mars. I'll take the midnight train to Mars. Now is there life out there on Mars? If there is, let's travel. Is there life out there on Mars? If there is, let's travel. Now if I stay or if I go, if I linger, will they notice? When a door closes, one notice. When I'm running, arms wide open. I can't believe I'm running. I can't believe I'm running. Everything we know. Let's walk right out the door. I walk right out the door. I walk right out the door. I watch them burn like trees in forests, surrounded by trees already burning. Even so, I know there's hurt amongst the broken. I'll take the midnight train, give it all I can. I'll find another way.
Today was praying tribute to his father.
You know, and then I'm gonna close out with this poem. I said the following begins with a leader. It's funny if you think about it, that started with the following though. I mean, pick up, it seems like no one here wants to follow a leader. It's hard enough chasing after our dreams, but now what, we're supposed to believe in the dreamers? If Martin had a dream for us, real talk, how are we all still sleeping? I mean, if we're not fighting for the life that we're trying to live, we're dead already. People be living dead already. But I see memorials and what monument, I mean, recognizing people who died for this. I mean, dying to live for this America. I don't mean to diss America, but in my mind's eyes, I see that there were people who died for this before this was America. What's birthing us? I was waking up this morning, y'all. I mean, I'm thinking the memorials and monuments is different. I mean, how do you recognize the difference between giving your life and dying for the same cause? I mean, having it taken is not the same, y'all. Look at the way they've used us. I used to look at them like we were one and the same, telling them that use us, but they think that they had permission to do the same and they just use us. But if you think about what US is, I think at some point they was like, just use these kids, and you could see how they was like, we could just use a nigga, now use a nigga. Now my niggas got niggas and we too used to it. But we're too used to being the used we used to see with no hope of being us. It's sad because that's just what US is. I mean, use us. I'm still looking at the silence in my heart like, ooh, I can't believe the feeling, but I've been struggling with this state of mind. But if you could see the way that New York changes, you could see the way New York chain is nothing but a state of mind. Here's to me state in mind. I mean, it's just a statement to get us to see how they hired statement to get us, but we're standing in a place thinking we can't make it, but that very statement to get us, but it's nothing but a state of mind. I mean, this is nonsense. How do we really stand here with our hands up and still not know if we won't get shot? I mean, it's strange, but think about the blacks that we're inventing. They were still in our minds and intent on taking it. Now they're mad that we're venting, but we are reinventing it, pretending the system is rendering feelings. But how would you really feel if you're only given life when it's at the end of a sentence? We can take the roads we've always known, and it doesn't matter where you're from. We all get stuck in the valley. Even worse, living in a city of pity with no one willing to will with you, and you get stuck in the alley, rock bottom. That's where I found where the rocks are. I found down there the feeling of being a rock star. Who knew? And now I thought to myself to ask who's new, but now I think who's news and what who's knows, sensing something for certain. Since sin is something for certain, we can just be better than what our sins say, killing it. I mean, crushing it with the serpent under the serpent, we can be usurping the grim reaper. Listen, the way the Congress is aging and the way we're congregating, I was thinking that we should have some progress, maybe just peep the pros and cons. Us is them. If we're over here, they think that us is them. But look here, we're theirs. That's just where they're coming from. The system can't be worn down here, not down here where we're coming from. Here, where theirs, you know, like where they're coming from, but you can't wear that down here, not down here where we're coming from. It's strange if you think about where we're coming from. Where we're coming from, this racist thing has never been about the one race it is, and it's a moral race. We should catch up, but the following, it begins with a leader. It's funny, though, how that ends with a leader. Word.
Ooh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can't stand man you off the stage, man. We gotta keep you on.
Rewind.
No, man. That's our pleasure.
Run it back.
That was definitely nice.
Right there.
That was definitely nice, man. I actually felt those words.
Yeah, man. When I got to that point, here, and I missed the line. We used to say that as if we could bring a person from there to here, and they would hear here. I said, where theirs? That's just where they're coming from. You can't wear it down this system where we're coming from. I couldn't believe those words. I was like, wow. You can't do the same thing that they're conditioning us to do if we're gonna do something together and different, you know what I mean? But it's like, you know, using the wrong tools for the right job, you know. But like, if we really just consider, when this popped up this morning and I saw all the names, dude, man, it was like a feeling of like I don't know, prostration. I just wanted to like bow down, like, holy crap. I'm like, this is everybody. I was, this is everybody. There's not, I mean, it was unbelievable, but you know, that nature of that is how it is that, you know, we build our community and, you know, hold each other accountable to, you know, our intake. When I was listening to Clara, right? I was gonna say just Claire. I thought I heard Claire, but you know, diet, you know, it's intake. You know, it's like, you know, what we're taking in that causes us to, you know, have a crap, you know, like waste. You know, it's a matter of intake. You know, but if time is spent well with each other, then it can't be wasted. It can't be lost. You know, it's just gain. But like if our intake, you know, is not each other and it's the usual ordinance of this world, then it makes of our body what it is that we're doing, you know, and like we have to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you know, first week of any sport practice, the first week you can't even looking at the clock like there's another hour. How am I gonna do it? I'm gonna die, you know. But after that week, you know, everything's good and you're a capable body in the way that you're exercising. But yeah, man, I think that how it is that we follow is each other. I mean, we're all very strong leaders in the capacity of our life and our agenda. There's no one that doesn't stand out in their life, and that being embodied by something, I don't think really can be stopped. You know what I mean?
All right, that's dope. That's dope. So up next, Ant is gonna share the comic book. And me, myself, and John Washington will be taking turns reading the pages. And you know, we hope you enjoy it. Our narration.
Did anyone else want to volunteer while we're at it? While I boot this up?
Reply in the chat, please.
What do you mean, volunteer?
So we go through the different pages of the comic book and a different person will read.
Oh, I'll volunteer a page.
All right, dope. Solomon.
All right, so I'm ready to go. All my private windows are closed. Anything that can incriminate me has been closed. I'm ready when y'all are.
Ooh, criminal.
All right, dope. Ant, we'll start with you. And then I'll call people's names out, and we'll go from there.
Sweet. All right, my adorable background there. All right, so here we are, X-Men, Wakanda Forever. Like I said, this is one of 3 issues. We're in the second part of our story. So the Dora are in here, Storm's in here, X-Men are in here. All right, so let's get it. All right, Wakanda Forever. The Dora Milaje are all-female warrior elite of Wakanda, recruited from the country's various, sorry, got cut off there. Various tribes. Their original mission was to protect the Black Panther and the royal family, but they recently ended that arrangement and now protect the nation as a whole. Before declaring their independence from the throne, one of their leaders, Okoye, was the personal bodyguard of King T'Challa, along with the fellow Dora Milaje named Nakia. Nakia grew dangerously obsessed with the king, and when she attacked his friends and family, T'Challa exiled her from the Dora Milaje. Embittered and cast out, Nakia developed an arsenal of weapons, including a drug named Deferio that gives her power over men. But long-time use of the drug has made her grossly ill. In a desperate attempt to lure the Black Panther to her before she dies, Nakia stole a doomsday weapon called the Mimic 27, and it is wreaking chaos across New York City. The Dora thwarted 2 attacks with Spider-Man's help, but now Nakia is going after Storm of the X-Men, T'Challa's ex-wife. All right, so just to give a heads up, this is written by Nnedi Okorafor. All right, so she's a very well-known writer. All right, so I'll start it off. Just outside the city of Bernazana, Wakanda, years ago. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I am Nakia of the Kanoma Valley, and we fear nothing. No fear, no fear, no fear. Okay, this is the place. Write instructions. 1, go alone. 2, go tonight. 3, locate the name of the cave. 4, enter quietly, or you will regret it. 5, perform the ritual.
Here goes. Beep. Crunch, 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 crunch. Wow. This palace is full of vibranium. It's even responding to my footsteps. Now I know why this cave is a Dora Milaje secret. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Crunch, crunch. I am not afraid. Afraid not. Afraid not. Or not afraid. I can't read. Sorry, guys. Not afraid. No fear. No fear. No fear. Crunch, crunch. Solomon, you up next.
All right.
Gotta take myself off mute. I'm sorry. All right, boom.
I'm sorry, my view options.
There's 2 Solomon, by the way, so we're gonna clarify. Solomon Dixon and then Solomon Polite.
All right.
Oh shoot. All right, Solomon Dixon first.
All right. I'm just getting confused.
Boom.
I just go by as Polite.
Too loud. I can't think. Can't think. Make it stop. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Make it stop.
Oh. Woo, rough looking.
Polite.
Right. That's Polite.
Okay, focus. Okay, Nakia. She's just an illusion. Ignore her. Let's do this and get out of here. Oh, that's not that hard, but there are multiple possibility answers. I have to think clearly. And you just sit there looking scary. Guess that's part of the test. One answer can be 9, the other can be 1. I choose 9. Where? Oh, phew. I'm sorry. This thing is so small. Goodbye, scary lady, whoever you are.
Hiram.
Okay, you passed the 3rd Dora Milaje initiation rite. Congratulations, Nakia. Wasn't that place creepy? Translated from Hwasa. a West African language and the chosen secret language of the Dora Milaje. Thanks, Okoye. It was creepy. I'm glad it's done. Me too. Did you see yourself? Maybe. I saw someone in there, but that couldn't have been me. That bad, huh? Rumble. It's fine, Nakia. I asked Mistress Zola and all the Dora see their I asked Mistress Zola and all the Doras see themselves as old women. I saw my old self too, but I'm not bothered because that's not for a while. Go rest. See you in the training hall tonight. That woman wasn't just old. She looked wrong. That wasn't me. It was just a stupid echo chamber illusion. Rumble. Farewell, Aurora, King T'Challa. And is that Storm, the X-Men?
John, you up next.
Okay. Goodbye, T'Challa. Wait, what's this? What's wrong? Why are you crying? I'm not. It's all right, child. You can speak freely. It's just my training. I just passed my final test to become a Dora Milaje. You know, one of those special king's forces? Ah, one of the adored ones. T'Challa's told me about the Dora. But why the tears then? Isn't this cause for celebration? I guess so. I'm just afraid of my future. The Dora Milaje are smart, loyal, powerful force like no other. And you are almost one of them. Why are you afraid of that future? What if T'Challa doesn't like me? What if I'm not good enough? I know I should be happy to serve, but I'd rather be like you, flying wherever I want, being with King T'Challa. I'm not with him. We are, I don't know. The other X-Men and I just finished a mission here. I'm heading back to New York today. Well, he admires you. You're his equal. You're strong and free like him. What's your name? Nakia. Nakia, let your world expand like the sky. Today in this moment, see your own greatness. I tell this to myself every day. You should too, especially today.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. So there's a storm going on in the background, a really heavy storm. I don't know which storm is causing this, but we'll see. Maybe. Definitely Nakia. Not maybe. Keep achieving your greatness, girl. It's just the beginning. All right. So we see her face go from kind of happy to kind of spiteful. All right. T'Challa will be here soon. I want to impress him. I'll keep reading. Brooklyn, present day, at an African grocery. And I think a little taste of home will be just the thing. Since you guys wanted to come with me today, Rogue, let me teach you a little something. See this? Don't be fooled by how it looks. When plantain is nearly black like this, they're a delicacy. You're so serious with your shopping, Aurora. T'Challa and I haven't seen each other in weeks. I'm in the mood to make him a Kenyan Wakandan feast. So this is serious. Might even make some for the X-Men. Oh, yum. I'm so glad y'all are back together, even if it is in secret. It's not a secret, more like an uncertainty. I don't know what the future holds.
These any good? Because they look good. You want to try them? Bah, Akari. It's best when your wife or girlfriend makes it. Ja, isn't everything? Sounds like Nightcrawler's making some friends. People actually eat this? Yep. When you put it in stews, sauces, and other dishes, it's delicious. Solomon Dixon? Polite?
Sure.
I was reading. I was still mute. Sorry. Ding ding. Finally. Can I have a tub of that shea butter? Oh, Tequila gonna experience a soft and supple storm tonight. I'll meet you guys outside. Looks like the rain is gonna get worse.
Sorry.
Looks like the rain is gonna get worse. I want to be the truck. I want to be in the truck before it does. Wait for me, Kurt.
Auroras.
Aurora, the only one who doesn't mind the rain. The only one that doesn't mind the rain. Hey, watch it.
Polite.
You can't do anything about the rainstorm. Well, yeah, you can't do anything about the rainstorm. It wasn't even in the forecast.
Oh.
I do that, then somewhere else gets the rain. Plus, the rain is clearing up. It's good, Mrs.
Olutunji.
Olotunji. Oh, hello. Who is that? She's looking a bit rough. True, we all have been there. Oh, hello, Aurora.
Hiram.
Do I know you? You don't recognize me? I'm sorry. No, are you a musician? We met once in Africa. That's vague. What part? Wakanda.
Yeah.
Come, come. A young Dora Milaje pining for the man who should have been her husband, according to the old ways of the Dora. Do you remember me now, former queen? Wow, it's really coming down now. Yep, that's why we're staying right here to wait it out. Aurora, is everything all right?
All right, back on me. Yes, I see you now, Nakia. No, Malice. That's how you like to be called now, isn't it? You don't look so well. The Jufero herb I use to make men even stupider than they already are has side effects. All the more reason to see T'Challa sooner. Let him come and choose. I've gone through Dora Milaje training. I'm more fit to be his wife than you. And if you will not come out to me now, boom, 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 he will come when you are dead. Boom, 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 boom.
John?
It's picking up now.
Aurora Monroe, Storm, you're finished. Come on, kill her now. Nakia, what is this? Pum, pum, pum. Meet your match, Weather Witch.
All right, so just to give some insight on what's going on, the drum that Nakia has is making a mimic. That's why it's called the mimic. It creates a copy of the person she's aiming at. So that's a copy of Storm. Okay.
I don't know who you are, but you'll not attack my friend. Don't worry. There's one for you as well. Nakia, why are you doing this? I don't care for competition. How is she doing this? There's one for me too. They're mimicking our powers. Solomon Dixon.
Oof. Hey, y'all wanna roll the hey, try all you want, bro. But the mimic can match your power. You can't win against yourself. I saw myself all those years ago. Now it's your turn. That's one step. You can't look and act like me, but the real thing is always stronger. Enough. Just enough. You just ruined my favorite grocery store.
All right, polite. Let's see how your mimic does in the elements. Go ahead. She'll match you drop for drop.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was in mute.
You good.
But
keep going.
Oh, real Storm, I'm coming, sugar. Right after I beat this.
All right, polite, next page.
What? Where'd he go? Storm must have undivided attention. My great love will come now. T'Challa will suck.
Oh, now pierce the drum. All right.
Hiram?
Shut up, Nakia. He's not a god, he's just a man. Oh, Okoye. Maybe breaking the drum wasn't such a great idea. Ha! Do you feel that, Storm? The surge of power in my grip? Give up, now queen of nothing. Well, what are you, you evil thing? Whatever I want to be.
Ooh.
John?
They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Well, not today, motherfucker. It's even stronger than it was before. What happened down there?
Yeah.
All right. I have been set free. No more mimicry. These powers are mine. Ah, holy crap! That's Storm and another Storm. Who cares? Run! I'll do another one. Move, mister. That loose lamppost is headed right for you. No way, man. I gotta capture this. People will do anything for views. You must be a friend of Storm's. Rogue, right? Yep. Thanks for grabbing that dummy. Oh, she saved him at the bottom there. All right.
Give up, Storm. Nakia's toy is no longer holding me back. Phew. I hope Rogue and Nightcrawler are all right. Enough, we need to regroup. Hey, yo, Anika, it is good to see you again. Solomon Dixon.
Aurora, are you all right? I am, but to think minutes ago, we were just complaining about rain. I hope Wakanda's finest warriors have some answers for us. Aurora, long time. I shouldn't have to wait for the end of the world for you to finally visit. Okoye. You are only far from the truth. You are not far from the truth. Thank you. It's a Wakanda weapon, and it has to set free on Brooklyn. But now, but how? The Mimic 27 was meant to protect, but it can be poisoned. Yes, I poisoned it.
Polite.
You used Dora's magic secret. Now look up there. All this just to get T'Challa attention. You used it so much that it broken free of you. Good feel how I feel. Okay, Okoye, do you know how to stop it? I will not be stopped by anyone. No. So it wants to destroy its maker now. Let it. I do not need your protection, Storm.
Hiram.
And she looked hit.
That's a hell of a drug.
That's a hell of a drug, man. I grow weary of this, Nakia. Yeah, so I think we should get back inside where we can figure out what to do next and not get killed by that thing. What a mess. The Mimic was built to protect with its powers, not harm. It's gone wild now. There's a way to stop it, a Dora Milaje's secret, but we'll need your help, Nakia.
John?
Of course you do. That's what it is to be Dora Milaje, to be used. Talk about using people. You stole a weapon and used it to endanger the lives of innocent civilians because you have an epic crush on a man who wants nothing to do with you. Didn't you tear apart Wakanda for the same reason? Ayo, you can't even, enough. Look out there. That started with us, and we're going to end it. Rogue, it's not human, but maybe you can still absorb its ability, and then it will absorb what you absorb. That will confuse it. I can do that. Aurora, it will focus most on you. Can you keep the Mimic 27 busy? I can. Nightcrawler, can you teleport Nakia, Ayo, Anika, and myself somewhere? We need a safe, quiet space. Whatever you need.
Berline.
My thing was like for that. Where are you, Storm? I'm not done with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Why do you do this, Nakia? They could have cured you in Wakanda. Cure? There is no cure for my life. Do you know what it is to be chosen for the Dora? All I wanted was to be loved. What child wants to be a warrior? White-haired witch. My village would have drowned you at birth. Ugh. Classy. Maybe they should have done that to you, Nakia. My name is Malice. All I want is to see my King T'Challa before I die. Okay, Nakia. Bum, bum, bum. I am here.
I am here.
To be concluded.
T'Challa kind of looked hit too. his eyes a little. Oh no.
Look kind of old and angry.
He upset.
Mystical.
All right, so that was number
about to
2
tear her up.
from Wakanda Forever. That's from 2012, somewhere around there. So it's not too old. It might be actually a little newer than that. But yeah, that was the issue. Thank you everybody who participated in reading. That was dope. I think Nakia or Malice could use some tips from Clara. Clara and Nicolita, y'all gotta like combine forces and like help her out because she needs some work.
You got it.
She needs some self-care.
Speaking of that, we talk about mental health in this, and you know, we wanted to highlight that aspect of the story, the issue with mental health, the issue with obsession, the issue of trying to please someone or someone's ego going off the rip. So, Nicolita, could you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. So I think this was a great tie-in to that it's kind of about losing your sense of self in this want for something greater, this connection. And so again, I just keep tying everything back to where we are presently and how easy that is to happen in isolation, with social distancing and all of that happening right now. But also just in general, a lack of connection is always going to lead to like a lower sense of self. So when you see that with mental health, it becomes much clearer and much more obvious to people who may not be struggling from a mental health condition. But also I try to stay away from mental health as a diagnosis only, because like it's health, right? So health is everything. So we have our physical health and then we have our mental health. Everybody has a mental health. So it's not, I think that a lot, especially in our own community, when we talk about mental health, we talk about the deficits or the defects of mental health, instead of, this could happen to anybody, with a diagnosis or without a diagnosis. If you lose your sense of self in the want for such a strong connection, you could go off the rails, just like Nakia did. And so there was a couple of things in there that kind of hit home and was really strong. The whole how the mimic can look like you, can act like you, but nothing is stronger than the individual, than the original. Right. And then connecting from the true individual to another true individual is always going to be more powerful, and you will always win that way. But it is so difficult to see that when you are blinded by this want, and that like comes from this like scarcity. There's only T'Challa. There's nobody else. There's only that. And so that is my everything now. And then also there was, I know we talked about like drugs and addiction as well, in that, and how they said, what did they say? Something about there was a confusing the mimic, and how the idea of how to confuse it, absorbing its power.
Right, kind of turning it in on itself.
Yeah, that's like a prime example of what we do with like beta blockers or medically assisted treatment and addiction treatment. We really just kind of confuse the system. So it's like you're still getting the same type of like high without doing harm to yourself. And so like it takes like really great insight from somebody who is not going through the exact same struggle the exact same way, to be able to really offer that kind of mindset, I guess.
Great breakdown, really good breakdown. Devon, you want to turn us into the next part of our schedule, which I think is the conversation. Nicolita got it started pretty good. Devon. Oh, all right. Well, I guess I'll just roll into it. So yes, we're gonna talk about, you know, we just want to open it up to everybody. So if you want to jump in, just go ahead and get what you got off. What do you think about the comic? What do you think about the characters, the writing style, the art, what they're going through? You know, how did you guys go through something similar? Maybe you got an ex that's kind of crazy and wants to take you out like Malice. I don't know. Did they change their name from something to something else?
I'm gonna say that beyond the story itself, I think this is it harkens back to our roots, the sharing of a oral story, like speaking it, not just sitting at home by yourself, reading a comic book, but sharing the experience and following along. I think is great. It's warming my heart, especially during this time of isolation. So this is fantastic. I love it.
Right.
And real quick, remember to mute and unmute yourself. So when you're talking, unmute, which I forgot to do, and Ant had to keep going. And but also after you get done, mute it, because sometimes our speakers are loud and we get feedback, and we're hearing the program go on as you're going. So if you can remember that, and then also if you have any self-doubts, what causes you to have self-doubt? How does that appear in your life? What are some internal battles that you have with yourself? I know I've been an athlete all of my life. So like March 19th, I got a stress fracture on my foot, and I'm still healing, but I was in bed for like 4 or 5 days. And so not being able to work out or being able to move like I normally move, you know, causes some self-doubt and has me take a toll. And, you know, I'm a little older. So, you know, I eat a honey bun and weight is going up and stuff. So, you know, those different, I love honey buns. Hiram will tell you. Yes, it's sugar is my drug of choice. I'm trying to get over that. Pray for me.
It's the hood poison, son.
But what's some of the things that you guys deal with? And remember to mute and unmute, please. Thank you.
Well, I had an injury too, like, you know, my back actually, it might be a bulging disc, but I haven't been able to go to the doctor because of the whole situation that's going on right now. But I mean, yeah, I feel the same way about not being able to be physical. But then I have to try and find other ways to bring order into my life and in other aspects.
I liked how, you know, they basically were saying, like, although this is a copy of you, they can never be actually as strong as you. I think it's really important sometimes. There are people who may look up to us or emulate us to an extent. And I think we also can look up to and emulate other people to an extent. And sometimes it can be damaging because we tend to lose sight of who we are and what our strengths are, and are trying to mirror someone else. And I think it's important just to remember that who you are and your strength is the most powerful you can ever be. Like, you can't, even if you take pointers or advice or steps from someone else, you turning that into your own strength is more important than you trying to copy and be like someone else. So I think that was really important to just kind of remind us that, like, stay in your own power, be, confident about the abilities that you have naturally, your innate ability. There's nothing or no one else like you, no matter how similar they may be. And I struggle with that as an artist. There are tons of people who sing and paint and so on. And some of them I might look at and say, wow, they do this in a way that I wouldn't compare now and say better than me, but it's different. It might be something I like. So instead of allowing myself to get jealous about it, which has been a thing, instead it's like, if this is something I want to improve on, how can I, add this into what I do? Or how can I, just teach myself to kind of grow in this area versus allowing myself to kind of be intimidated, because it's easy to do, especially with social media and so on. So just remember your power. I think that's really important.
I think that was beautifully said. Thank you for that. Just to kind of build off of that, not being in control causes so much self-doubt. And so I think that you kind of just highlighted exactly like what we can do to overcome that too, is really focus on your own power, focus on the things you do have power over. As little as a thing may be, it is still a power. And so that, is a wonderful way. So thank you again. I just wanted to uplift that.
I was gonna say, I thought it was really interesting that like how much self-doubt is created from other people's expectations. And so even for her, like, she was a Dora Milaje, and the expectation was that she was going to serve T'Challa. And when that was taken away, like, there was nothing left for her to like hold on to. So I think a lot of the self-doubt that I have and that I experience and talk other people through is like the expectations of society, the expectations of family, especially like with Black folks, you know what I mean? Like, we have a lot of people in our families that expect us to be white supremacists and to, conform to those things. So I think a lot of the self-doubt isn't even like a self thing. It's like, how are you internalizing what other people are doing? And then it's like, she internalized that. The truth is, like, Storm and T'Challa broke up and they had both moved on with their lives, and she was still like stuck in this time from so long ago and was not even recognizable to Storm. And then how some people can like bring out our own inner enemy in us. Like, that's what she was. Like, I know a lot of people come into groups that I'm in and they'll do that. They'll like do something that makes everyone fight with themselves internally to like hold back the group. And I think that's just a lot of people do it also thinking that they're doing the right thing. So that just really like reminded me of so many life situations I've had where I've moved on, other people have moved on from a situation, but someone just comes back in and like brings that energy back and has everybody like fighting themselves.
Yeah, that's really important and true.
A lot of really good points, y'all. A lot of really good points, y'all. This is really good. Amazing.
So another thing we talked about was nutrition, and mostly everybody loves food. So do you have any foods that our families are from different countries and cultures and stuff? So is there any food that you miss, any food that you love to make, or any food you wish your mom or your grandma would make? See, I definitely can add that to it and go. They were talking about plantains and stews, and it's better when your girlfriend make it or something, you know what I'm saying?
You said what foods we like?
Mm-hmm.
Or what foods, what?
Foods we like?
Oh, okay, I can't, everybody gets on me about this, say, yo, you don't eat no dairy, drink dairy, you don't eat no beef or whatever like that, but I love pork. I'm sorry, it must be my Chinese genetics, my Southern Black genetics put together. They find it gets my mind, because I've moved away from all pork except for bacon, so I like have bacon like every other month. So I don't know, it's got me. Yeah, so hopefully it'll turn me into a Nakia, because man, it's delicious.
They can get its own special category.
But I got so many Muslim friends, they was like, that's why I can help it. I can't help it.
I think that when they were talking about that plantain and how it was, you know, don't get it confused. When it's black, it's a delicacy. You know, it just kind of also says a lot about like how we tend to judge things based on their appearance. And so, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Oh, that's a good one.
Has
I was
anybody
gonna say,
ate
I don't know
plantains
if
when they were
anybody
black?
here. I was if anybody ever had a pate con, which is it's a plantain sandwich. What they do instead of the bread, the plantain is the sandwich, and then you could put beef, pork, you know, whatever you want, even fish, and with like lettuce, tomato, and this like sauce that they make with garlic. It's like it's on point. It's like it's actually a Spaniard, Venezuela dish, but the shit is
And can we write that in
banging.
the chat there so I can make sure I get that when I can?
Yeah, we gotta make sure when this quarantine's over, we get somebody to make that because that joint.
I'm saying, we get that catered to the next
pork
event.
I know John used to always.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
I like mofongo. I think it's Dominican, but I'm not sure because I'm not Latinx. But man, some shrimp mofongo. Man, I used to go down to Florida for flag football tournaments. Like, oh my God, it might have been almost 10 years in a row. But this one Dominican spot, man, the shrimp mofongo, man, that joint it'd be on point every time.
Yeah, mofongo's good. This spot, Casa de Sabores in Buffalo, makes a good one.
I gotta go.
In there. Yep.
All right, we're gonna transition to our final music pieces. We got We Stole the Show and Amina the Empress. So We Stole the Show, are we ready?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Check. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Loud and clear.
Yep.
Can I hear myself? Yo. Hey, there we go. Yo, I wish I had this when I was a kid because I stopped reading comics when I was like a freshman in high school. But from fifth to ninth grade, that's all I was doing, comics and football cards. So this is amazing, like the read along and the breakdown afterwards. I was just breaking it down with myself and my little crew that would draw our own comics. So this is dope. We having some technical issues, so it's just gonna be me.
Okay.
But if at any point y'all need me to turn the volume up on the beat, I don't want it to blow out, on y'all end. Just, point up and I'll turn the beat up a little bit. If you need me to back away from the mic, go like this and I'll back up. I don't want to, blow it out in that way either. Okay. First song, I appreciate Black Panther for their conversation about ancestral work. Even like there was the little nuance when I can't remember the woman's name, but she was like, if you were born in my village, we would have drowned you.
I believe
and what was her
that was
name?
Ayo. She's one of the Dora Milaje.
That was just like a real dope line, as far as I don't know who was writing this, but like whoever wrote it, just to put that in to be like, different tribes of people in general just look at magic and look at ancestral work differently, and like it's scary to some people and other people it's like they'll bring it and recognize how important it is.
The author is African, so that's why she has that background, so she knows.
Word, that's sweet. So this song is like inspired by interactions that I've had with ancestors and relatives that have come to me in various situations. So here we go. Sound good? If y'all can hear it, give me a thumbs up. Y'all don't hear? Who doesn't hear the beat? I got mad thumbs up.
Never mind. We didn't hear you. We didn't know the beat was playing.
Okay, hold up. I'm about to share my screen. Bong. iTunes. Share computer sound.
There you go.
Y'all see my messy desktop. All right, tell me if you can hear the beat now. Everybody, we good? We good? Y'all can hear me too? All right.
Hey, said I'm tapping into the logos, cause they take your land and turn your face into the logo. Sell it to your kids, make them forget you cause of promo. Redskins versus the Cowboys, they rooting for Tony Romo. Man, the dojo helped to save me, sweating bullets out on Bailey, where they took bullets from babies. Man, the pen Pulitzer paid me like a doctor in the 80s, saying, look, I got the medicine. Typing with the typing, I tell a tale like I'm tennis. Man, new lens on the Nikon, now I'm focused. I'm not out for self, but I'm looking for true gnosis. Kids, they switch us down, mister, then watch the money flowing. But purists there with the stylist getting smoky, and you know this. It's smoky, and you know this. Hey, it's getting smoky, and you know this. Man, it's getting smoky, and you know this. Man, till I'm ashes on the land, I get up.
Sounding good on y'all end?
Fire. Fire.
Turned 30 and I feel like a kiddo when it's probably the trip. 5 grams to the slow. I know I'ma die and I live. It's a memory that was etched in my memory and tagged in my mental. Wait. I said I just turned 30 and I feel like a kiddo when it's probably the trip. 5 grams to the slow. I know I'ma die and I live. It's a memory that was etched in my memory and tagged in my mental. Wait. All right, Joey. Just turned 30 and I feel like a kiddo. Probably the trip 5 grams to the silo. I know I'ma die and live as a memory that was etched in my memory and tagged in my mental like Sambo. Rather be a shaman than a Sambo. I'd rather be a penny than a patriot. If the so-called prize is making it, I'll be faking it. And it ain't no wonder that I'm overjoyed. Touches in my feel like a solenoid. I visited my pops on Sobieski. Told him granddad that it's sold a recipe. Cried like a baby in a weed house. Heated by a stove hole in the side door boards in the windows. Used to be a but my boat, Truman Martino, poking my nose. Two lens on the Nikon, now I'm focused. I'm not out for self, but I'm looking for true gnosis. Kids say switch your style, mister, then watch the money flowing. So purists bear with the fire, it's getting smoky, and you know this. It's smoky, and you know this. Man, it's getting smoky, and you know this. Man, it's getting smoky, and you know this. Man, till I'm ashes on the land. Get up.
Wow.
Hey.
Sound good.
That was fantastic.
Good stuff.
Woo! Good enough.
That was nice.
Lit it up.
Okay, I think I'm a little over time. I want to make sure Amina gets her.
No, you good. We got time.
Go ahead, give him another one.
Another one.
I got a verse for y'all, and then I'm gonna pass it on to the next artist.
Omar is angry.
Omar is angry. Hey. Yo. Hey, yo, friends, call me Reaper, my mama, she call me Doc, and some artists call me Big Bro, but I ain't asking for that slot, cause see, rank and responsibility, merger thick in the plot, like little water and lots of grits that go merger thick in the pot. I'm a sex geek, an American psychonaut, a drug war refugee, whether I like it or not, light the pot, sativa only, homie, I think a lot, took a trip out to Cali when I barely could drink a drop, to the ancestors show me this is just a dream, what you mean, don't let your fears hold you back, cause nothing is what it seems, and that was sober, Linda confirmed what I told you on the hunt like Boba, soul in the body is taking over, yo. You won't be moving one iota. We out here taking over with no crack and baking soda. Yeah. Said you won't be moving one iota. We out here taking over with no crack and baking soda. Yo, thank you.
Hey.
Yeah.
We stole the show. Up next, Amina the Empress. Show some love. Show some love.
Whoop, 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 whoop,
Hey,
whoop,
y'all. I just have to say, this has been really tremendous. I appreciate everyone for coming on with your expertise. Everybody, all the work that you're doing is incredible. So thank you. This was greatly needed for me. I really appreciate it. I am a singer-songwriter, educator, if you don't know me. I'm gonna be singing a song that was on my latest project. And I picked the song, well, once I saw what the topic was, mental health and, you know, self-love and self-worth. This was that song for me. I'm a firm believer in repetition. And so when you want to kind of reprogram yourself to believe different things, and, you know, we talked about us like holding on to things that aren't actually ours. So when you want to reprogram yourself, repetition is one of the best ways. So one of the things I really would like to reprogram in myself is positive self-image and self-worth. So I wrote this song, which was glorifying some of the things that I considered as flaws or things that I didn't necessarily like about myself, so that I learned to love them. So with no further ado, I'm doing this a cappella. I love the curving of my spine, all the moles beneath my eyes. I love myself. I love myself. I love the fullness of my lips and the sway that's in my hips. I love myself. I love myself. I love the boldness of my nose and the strength within my toes. All the kinks up in my hair, the gorgeous brown skin that I bear. I love myself. When I am falling down, only my love can turn me around. And when the fog's too thick to see, only my love can clear it for me. I only need me. I only need me, yeah. I only need me. I only need me. I said, I only need me. I only need me. Thanks, guys.
Woo!
Fire! Fire! Fire!
That was that heat right there. That was it. That was it.
Nice.
It looks like stole the show, and you need to make a album together or some shit.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
All right, guys. Real quick. I want to do two screenshots. So I want to do one or three. I'm sorry. I want to do three. I want to do a smile, a mean mug, and then a silly face. Everybody get that?
Yeah.
All right. So
Video,
if you can,
want to see you. What's up, John Barrow?
put your video on so we can see you. If not, that's all right. Yeah. But if you can, we definitely appreciate it. They're showing you love in the chat, Amina.
Hey, thank y'all.
Make sure you follow that social media. I posted it in the video.
Thank you.
Okay. So first one is gonna be a smile. And 3, 2, 1. It didn't work. Sorry.
Nah.
Oh, it didn't work. No, it just. I think because like I'm doing the Zoom and Facebook Live and recording it, it took like an extra second to go. So, all right, I got it. We gonna do this. Okay, so this is the smile. This is the smile. And 3, 2, and you gotta hold it for like 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, there we go. Now we got the meme mug. We need the meme mug. All right. Take the glasses off for this one. All right. Christian's still getting ready. All right, so this is the meme mug. And 3, 2, 1. Dope. We got it. And then your silliest face, the silliest of silly faces. That's what we're gonna do. And 3, 2, 1. It didn't work. Oh, yes, it did. Let me check it out, though, because it just took 2 in a row. Oh, it was perfect. That was perfect. That was oh my goodness. Okay. Give me 1 second. Does anybody have any announcements, any campaigns they're working on, any things that are coming up, events, shows, anything we should think about? Like, we got a census. If you haven't done the census yet, if you type in 2020 census in Google, it'll come up and show you where to go. Also, you can email in your absentee ballot. So super important. Primaries are in June. Anybody else, y'all want to speak up? You can just unmute yourself.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
We put out music once a week on Mondays. So if you follow official WSTS on Instagram, we put out music once a week. And in about a month, I'll be putting out a film. So just follow us and you'll hear more about that. There's a film and a soundtrack with it.
Christian, what's up with Monday? The town hall.
So yeah, I was just trying to basically highlight our future assembly person, Adam Bojack, that actually worked with John Washington directly on housing. But nobody could really do C4 stuff as much on a local level. So we're basically going to be going over Know Your Rights during COVID. And if you have any questions, and also presenting some bills that we can actually pass through legislation where the state will get involved to making sure that they actually are the ones taking care of landlords and tenants. Because I truly believe in my heart that we need to compare landlords with tenants because they could also be hurt. But obviously there's developers and people that put Band-Aids on houses and rent them out. But we need to make sure that people understand their rights. One of the bigger campaigns to me that I'm working on, because I'm a victim of mass incarceration, is trying to release people from the holding center. So if you want to get involved with that, that's deeply to my heart. But besides that, it's like, how do we just stick together during this time, during COVID? And I know that we're doing a project, and I think Wakanda Alliance is also joining on how do we get masks and distribute them so that everybody is protected when they go outside. And then I think that's about it for me right now. But besides that, there's just a lot of dope work that's happening. And John just put up Get Money from Push Buffalo. They've been giving out, I sent a lot of people, everybody's been getting $500 assistance for their rent or food. So make sure you take advantage because they did raise a lot of money. I mean, I just take advantage, right? I mean, at the end of the day, take advantage. If somebody has the resources that we don't have, the fact that it's coming from philanthropy, which means millionaires and billionaires that actually have the resources, let's get that money. But besides that, yeah, John, I guess you could talk more about like the homes guarantee on a national level. But in general, like it is time for us to unite, especially people of color, so that when also should I talk about the CCIA, John?
Yeah, talk it all.
So basically, my partner Gio has been working. She passed the CLCPA last year, which was like the most progressive environmental justice platform to bring in over $1 billion just to Western New York. So we need to make sure, how do we promote that in a way that is jobs, not jails? Let's make sure that it's our people of color that's actually getting those jobs, especially felons. Like, how do we make sure that people are not getting in the predicament of survival, which white supremacy calls criminals? So like, how do we actually establish ourselves as powerful people and get those jobs to make sure they're coming directly to our communities, our hood, so that they're, especially when they get privilege wage, which means $50 an hour, that could equal out to $90,000 a year. Let's bring that wealth to our community as that money is coming in. So when we put that pressure as people of color, because the thing is that money is going to end up going to the unions, and that's white supremacy, basically building their own empires and their own houses in the suburbs and living the good life while we still suffer. So let's just, how I see it is, how do we do a jobs not jail campaign out of the CICA? I know I'm saying it wrong. John will correct it, but the point is, like, how do we actually bring the investment into our communities?
Just to piggyback off Christian, I just put 2 links in the chat. So Monday night, we're going to be having a town hall statewide with Representative AOC. And I've been working with her and Ilhan Omar writing a bill to cancel rent and mortgages federally that offers support to small landlords. So doing whatever we can to try to make that pass or get it put into these COVID packages. Right now, Congress is basically doing a monthly package that is really 70% of bailout for big companies and not really providing the money that our people need. So I know this is not, something a lot of people get engaged in, but like right now it's pretty much life or death that we have to advocate for ourselves. And we don't have as much power and control as we like, but this is a moment we have to build it because our people are dying the most. And honestly, just want to like really ground everybody in the reality that they just put, $13 trillion into our economy of fake money. There are more unemployment claims just in the past 2 months than there have been in the past 20 years. And we're looking at like the possibility of a total economic collapse in the next 6 to 9 months. And I feel like right now is the time for us to really get serious about all the stuff that we always say about coming together, because, the way that people are playing with this virus on a political level, I think is really going to result in some very serious situations for our people, because anybody who's lost their job in this crisis most likely is not going to get it back. And we're looking at, in the next year, probably getting to, 30% unemployment nationally, which is going to be a really bad situation for us all. So while we're trying to do harm reduction and pass these bills right now, we really need to be thinking differently as a community about how we work together, how we feed each other, how we do mutual aid, because I don't believe that the government can solve this crisis.
Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen. That was dope. Take that to heart. I got a few announcements too before you wrap up. Just real quick, we do have the the galactictribe.org. That is the website. I'm going to share my screen here real quick just to show y'all what it looks like. Cool. So that is the homepage. Just what you'll see when you first enter the site. Our social media links are up there. So you'll see the Wakanda Alliance up here. And yep, so that's all there, all the content that we have. We'll be doing videos and all the stuff that we did last year and this year will go up there, including this live video. We also got a YouTube up, so that's where that link is right there. Our YouTube is now active. Information for our events, upcoming events, past events is on here as well. And we also have the Galactic Post, which is our blog. So okay, so yes, our blog is there. So you'll see news about Afrofuturism, art appreciation, anything that we see interesting, we'll write up. Even if you see a write up, you can submit it. Or if you have an idea for something we could talk about, or if you wrote something yourself, we can have it like we'll be like a co-publisher of whatever you write. So you can sign in, comment, like, all that good stuff. And there's also a donate page. If you want to donate to us, we are at $$ or $, the G Tribe. G Tribe. So yeah, you're welcome to donate as much or little as you want. We appreciate it.
Cash App. Cash App.
What'd I say?
No, I was just echoing.
Yeah. Gotcha. So yeah, so all that is up. So yeah, we appreciate everybody coming out today. It was really awesome. Really awesome.
All right. Dope. Thank you, everyone. Also, check out our Facebook, Wakanda Alliance. We'll go and share the links that were shared inside of here, and make sure that you have another chance to look over it. And then I just want to just really big ups, and we're truly thankful from the Galactic Tribe to Hiram Cray, Nicolita Rodriguez, and Little People's Victory, Jay Mitch, founder of Lyrically Healing, Solomon Dixon, Lead Line Inc., your dietitian BFF, Clara, We Stole the Show, and Amina the Empress, and Polite for reading with us. I don't know if he's still on, but we really and all the knowledge that you guys shared, this is what it's all about. This is things that we want to keep doing. If you would like to be a part of other programs that we're due, please, you can contact us. Ace, is it Wakanda?
The email. If you go to our website, the email, if you hit the little mail button where all of our other social media links are, you'll see the email button. But our email is wakanda.alliance218@gmail.com. Yeah. Or a good old fashioned inbox DM on any platform.
So check out our website. Contact us if you would like to be a part. And if you have any other friends that are artists, professionals, business owners, performers, poets, anything you can think of, send them our way. Let them check out our videos and stuff. We're always looking to collaborate and really start to build a new culture that is focused on us, focused on our future, focused on breaking down the systemic structures that hold us back, and to keep spreading love and all those good things. We love you. We thank you. We're only a minute over. I put the pictures in the chat so you can download it, but we'll also put them up on Facebook so you can go get it and share it on your wall. Tell people about it. And everybody, please stay safe, be blessed, and have a wonderful weekend.
Great job. Great job.
Thank you.
Good job, everybody. Thank you so very much. This was
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Share yourselves.
Love you all. Much love.
Thank y'all. Enjoy yourselves.
Miss you, John. Peace.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.